So ordinarily, I feel like Nigeria is an amazing country, right? Anytime you go out of the country, it becomes a lot obvious that Nigeria is a blessed country. So recently, a friend of mine, invited me to Nairobi, Kenya, to, experience a safari and to see some wild animals in Kenya. So yes, after many days of farming, I thank God I was able to go out of the village, and then I got to the airport and took this plane. This was Ethiopian Airlines. Ethiopian Airlines. Look at that. Like, Nigeria is blessed, but we don't know what we are doing in this country. An African airline, took us to Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. So this was how the journey started. It was a rainy day, but when it was time to go, the rain had come down a bit. So I brought up my phone. I wanted to capture the moment, and that's how I was. We're inside this big plane, and it was about to take off. Oh boy, everywhere can they shake. Oh, you can see. I was wondering, but I didn't want to miss this point. So even as everywhere was shaking, I said, "I lie. I must capture this takeoff today." So I put my phone there and I was watching it, and speed gonna increase. Oh, and I kept my phone fixed on the windows because I usually like to sit, on the window seat. And V1, I think that's what air crash investigation has shown me. I watch a lot of these. So when it was V1, the plane lifted off, and we're up in the air, airborne. All those things are clouds. So it's always, because it was a rainy day now. So those whitish things that are passing by the window, serious clouds. If you enter these planes, you can be like, say, you know you call them, a bad road, bumps. Anyways, so we had at this stage passed the lower clouds. You can see them out there, and then I was still videoing, still capturing the moment, and waiting to see how we'll pass the higher clouds. You can still see the ground. I think at this point we're about 16,000 feet above sea level. So yes, we left from Lagos, and you can see how Lagos looks like from up in the air. So that was that, and then after a while, when we had crossed the higher clouds, I brought up my phone again and tried to capture the moment. At this point, we're like 33,000 feet above sea level. This was a Boeing 737 Max 8, I think. A lot of people are scared about this Boeing, but a lot has got better with it. So I had to video the cabin. That PA in progress, they were making an announcement through the speakers, so everyone had to hear the announcements. We're already up in the air, and I just swung my camera to look in the cabin. It was a very comfortable flight, an African airline, Ethiopian Airlines. And these amazing comfortable flights, and it was a beautiful sight out there. Each time I fly and I look at the clouds below me, it gives you a feeling of joy. So we had flown for about 2 hours, 30 minutes, and then it was getting dark. So I brought out my phone again, tried to capture the moment. I saw that light on the plane wing, and then I decided to, video the plane wing all the way and back into the cabin. As at this time, the pilot had put on the cabin lights. I was trying to see one movie. I think they were about to give us food, really, at this point, because the lights came on for that purpose. They were about to give us, what was it? Was it lunch? Some guys down there were using the toilet. Yeah, so they brought this food now. There's always that piece of bread. And that salad, I don't know what it is. I didn't really enjoy that salad. And then There you are. And then after a while, I had to go into the toilet. I have never been in a plane toilet. Of the many times I have flown, I have never been in a plane toilet. But this was a 5-hour, 45 minutes flight. So I had to use the toilet at some point. So I had to, look at it and show you guys. And then after about 5 hours, we started descending into Ethiopia, Addis Ababa to be precise, and there was light everywhere, and I was like, what? They take light for here? Unlike when you fly from one part of the country to another in Nigeria, and you see how dark it is when you are descending at night. But here we were at Addis Ababa airport, an African airport. Let me say that again. And it was just amazing. I just was not happy with our leaders when we saw this airport. There were Boeings, planes everywhere. And I was shocked. How can an African country of about 120 something million persons be able to float these number of planes? There were planes going everywhere. So this was me trying to capture the moment, and I took a few pictures, videoed the cabin one more time before I left. And then we're now in a bus, and we're looking at all of the planes as they were, just packed there. And we're wondering. We're not really happy with this country, Nigeria. A lot of guys in this bus with me were Nigerians, and they were not happy too. So here is the airport at Addis Ababa. Try to capture the moment again. You can see that terminal. Big airport, an African airport. Whew. Well, the layover was about 2 hours, so we had to wait. And then it was time to move on to Nairobi in Kenya. So I quickly took a few pictures again. And then it was time to board again. And here I was already at the airport in Nairobi, Kenya. I didn't have to take any more photos because you've already seen it all.